大家好，我是岳一泰，我在奔萨国立大学学习俄语。俄罗斯和欧洲庆祝圣诞节在中国是众所周知的，但我们自己并不庆祝。我们只有新年，新年每年都会在不同的日子到来，通常在冬末或春初。我们以家庭为单位过节，也会装饰自己的家。在中国，节日的象征既不是圣诞星，也不是俄罗斯那样的圣诞树，而是最具有代表性的红灯笼和对联。接下来，我想进一步了解俄罗斯古老的新年庆祝传统。
Today we are talking about Kolyada holiday, which is celebrated simultaneously with Christmas. Most people in our time believe that Christmastide and Kolyada holiday are inextricably linked. In fact, since pagan time, when Christianity was not even adapted in Russia, people believed in different gods, for example, in Kolyada. This holiday was dedicated to the heavenly god Dazhd Bog. The essence of the holiday boils down to the following. This is a list of ancient Slavic rituals that glorify and praise the pagan god of the young sun. According to the many sources, Kolyada was still the god of fun feasts. The main version of the origin of the holiday is that the sun was praised on the day of the winter solstice. There was even a legend on this. The serpent Karatun captured the sun, and the goddess Kolyada helped people and gave birth to a new young star, Bozhich. People tried to help the goddess and protect the newborn from the serpent by singing and shouting loudly, dressing up in scary costumes made of animal skins and using horns. With carols, young people went to all the neighboring village yards, informed that a new young son was born. Kolyada was the biggest and most important holiday in winter since the time of the pagans, just like Christmas is now for all Christians. The main idea of Kolyada holiday is to carry out various rituals. Dressing in a variety of outfits, in particular made of animal skins and horns, using face masks, singing carols, performing carol songs, thanksgiving to the carolers, and presenting them with sweets, food, coins, and other things. Games for young people and children. Fortune-telling for unmarried girls.
А коляда, маляда, золотая борода, на что пришла накануне Рождества, растворяй ворота, давай пирога. Кто не даст пирога, мы корову за рога. Кто не даст хлеба, уведем и деда. Кто не даст лепешки, разобьем окошки.
And after such jolly songs, the owners of the households were giving to the performers small gifts such as food, cookies, sweets, coins, money, and so on. The sun was the personification of a happy and divine life, and was considered the brightest, kind, and merciful, giving food and help to people. Also, the sun had to resist evil, darkness, and cold. The sun also was confronting evil creatures who appeared during the reset between the old and the new years.
А, например, в Пензенской области, селе Красные Дубравы, где жили царуны, пели так. А ты, Янюта белая, скажи, чего делала? На палатях молотила, на коннике веяла, на палатях мерила. Уж ты, барин господин, чем пожертвуешь? Или сено хлок, или вилы в бок, или конец пирога, или корову за рога. Дайте ножку, студень в окошку, а если не дадите, шелудивую девочку родите, на коня посадите и в чисто поле унесите, а если дадите, хороший год у вас будет.
How did people prepare for the kolyada holiday celebration? There were numerous traditions. They cooked a large number of dishes for the festive dinner. They cleaned very thoroughly entire house. People steamed banya, the Russian heating room, or sauna. They prepared new masquerade outfits for caroling. One thing is remained unchanged. Both long ago and now we strive to meet the New Year holidays clean, both physically and spiritually.
До этого я спела вам колядку, щедровку, а сейчас овсеньку. Овсень, овсень, я гулял по всем, по заулочкам, по проулочкам. Я искал, 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 чего Бог послал. Если скоро подадите, вы хорошего родите, а не скоро подадите, вы убогого родите. За речкою, за быстрою живут люди богатые, гребут деньги лопатами. Кому денежку дадут, тому в шею накладут. Овсень, овсень, дай блинка. И хозяева должны были одаривать колядовщиков блинками.
At Christmas Eve, on the 6th of January, people did not eat anything until evening. But as soon as the first star appeared in the sky, they sat down to dinner with the whole family. On the table this evening there should be at least 12 dishes, of which kutya and uzvar from dried fruits, as well as heaty meat dishes such as pancakes, cabbage rolls, dumplings, homemade sausage were required. For a long time, our ancestors had the customs of putting hay under the tablecloth, which was supposed to lie there until January. The next morning, on the 7th of January, the Christmastide began. It was the biggest winter holiday. On this special day, it was customary to go to godchildren and give them gifts. After lunch, young girls and boys, dressed up in masquerade costumes of different animals and gypsies, and in groups of 10 to 15, went around singing carols.
Ой, рано, рано, скоро запели святой вечер. Ранее того Ванечка встал, святой вечер. Вставайте, братцы, коня седлайте, святой вечер. Коня седлайте, жеребья кидайте, святой вечер.
As you can see, the carol singers were performing very different songs to please both the sun and the earth in order to invite wealthy and prosperous year. The main attributes of carols were the Christmas star. It was made of strong paper. The star was quite large, almost 1 meter high, and the candle was adjusted to it to give light to the star. The star was 8-pointed and it was painted with bright colors. Nativity Scene was another attribute of celebration. It was made of a wooden box which contained figures depicting the story of the birth of Jesus Christ. The carol singers sang songs glorifying the earth, asking for a good future, dancing and having fun. For this, the owners of houses thanked them generously and gave them various treats and money. It was believed that if the owners did not open the door to the carol singers, then this could bring misfortune to the family and poverty to the house.
Оша бабушка, Варварушка, где была, коней пасла, а где кони за водой пошли, а где вода, быки выпили, а где быки за горы ушли. Эта колядка может быть бесконечной.
Fortune-telling played a very important role during the holidays of Kaleda. Usually it took place from the evening of the eve of Christmas until January the 14th, when the New Year in Russia, according to the old style, was celebrated. It was believed that on these days that girls could find out their fate and reveal the secret of the future. They could see the betrothed and even predict the date of the wedding. There were many rituals. The most popular ones are the following. The girl had to go out into the yard and throw the boot from her left foot over the fence. Then she would watch how it fell and positioned itself. If the toe of the boot turned to the house, then this year the girl would not get married. If the toe of the boot looked in the opposite direction, it meant there would be a wedding. Then the girls examined to which exact direction the boot was pointing. The future groom-to-be would probably come from that direction. Another way of fortune-telling required needles. The girls took 2 needles and they smeared them with fat or lard and dipped them into the water. If the needles drowned immediately, then the girls knew that the year would not be very successful for them. But if the needles stayed floating or even connected with one another, then it was worth waiting for a rich year and a quick marriage. The girls used to tell the fortune by a piece of firewood. A young girl would go to the woodshed with her eyes closed and would pull out one log and carefully examine it. If the log was rough and heavy, then the betrothed would be of average appearances. If the log was smooth and even, then the future husband would be handsome and stately. In case the log had many marks and branches, it indicated that the guy would be from a family with many sisters and brothers. If the girl chose a crooked and twisted log, then the groom would probably be with external, for example, pockmarked. Another way of telling the fortune was using the rings. For this, the girls put any cereal, rye or wheat into the sack. They also put their rings into the sack too. There were 4 types of rings: metal, silver, golden, or with gemstones. And all this was mixed well. For this fortune-telling, a company of unmarried girls usually gathered together, and each of them grabbed one handful of contents from the sack. If the girl got only grain in her hand, it meant this year the girl would not get married. The ring with the gemstone predicted family life with a nobleman. During Christmastide, many kids and teenagers flocked themselves in groups, wandering around and visiting neighbors.
Ош ты, курица реба, на погреблице гребла, где кони за врата ушли, а где врата водой снесло, а где вода быки выпили, а где быки за горы ушли, а где горы червя выгрызли, а где черви гуси выклевали, а где гуси за тростник ушли, а где тростник, девки выжили, а где девки за мужья ушли, а где мужья на войну ушли, а где война посередь двора. С Рождеством вас!
Hello, my name is Anna Glaskova. I'm an arts and crafts master. Today we will talk about such an integral part of Christmas as the Star of Bethlehem. Let's try to craft it with our own hands. The Star of Bethlehem is a geometrical figure, but in different periods of time it was depicted with different number of rays. We will make an 8-pointed star. To start work we need a pencil, a ruler, scissors and a piece of checkered paper from a notebook. We put the paper vertically and measure 50 squares for the length. We mark two extreme dots or points and now connect them with a ruler, drawing a line. Then please find the middle of the line and from that point measure 10 squares to the right and 10 squares to the left. Connect all the extreme points to get a rhombus. Finally, we cut out our figure to make it to be our pattern. We choose several shades of color paper for our star race. It's better to take the color cardboard. It will hold the shape well. I take pink, red, and two blue ones. Let's start with the blue one. Take our rhomb pattern and trace its outlines on the cardboard with a simple pencil. Our pattern helps us to make even shapes of the future race. Then cut the shapes out of the color paper. Finally, we got 8 rays out, 4 pieces of color paper. Our next step is making a foundation of the star. For this we need plain paper or cardboard sheets. We need 4 leaves of paper. First, we join the 2 leaves of paper together along the longer edge with glue. Then we glue the third paper leaf along its shorter side. The 4th paper sheet we stick to the main foundation. As the result, we got one big foundation consisting of 4 paper leaves joined together by glue. We take the rays of the star and place them on the foundation to see how it will look. Then please glue the rays one by one onto the foundation.
лучики на бумагу.
In order to decorate our star, we need to cut out one smaller 8-pointed star to place it in the middle.
Наклеим в самый центр. Для этого мы берем клетчатую бумагу.
We take the checkered paper again and draw a square 10 centimeters wide and 10 centimeters long.
Со стороной 10 клеток.
We divide the square into 4 parts by drawing 2 lines, one vertical and one horizontal. They need to cross each other right in the middle of the square. This small star we place in the very middle of the big star and glue it firmly. Our star is almost ready. We only need to cut it out. Look at the Christmas star that we made together with you. The star has several meanings. This is a symbol of eternity and light, high inspirations and ideals. In different traditions, it was considered that each person has its own star, which is born and dies together with the man. In tradition of Christmastide, there was the saying, "To go with the star." It is a ritual referring to the birth of Jesus Christ. With this star, people sang carols. Children, teenagers, and unmarried young men practiced this ritual. The participants were holding the Christmas star, which was also called колядах. Before entering the house, they used to ask the owners of the house, "Dear owners, can we praise Jesus Christ with the star here?" After getting a permission to do so, they entered the house, stood in front of the icons, and sang religious songs. The leader of the procession was carrying the star, and he usually had a strong and good voice and knew carols better than the others. The second important person was the bell ringer. He carried a big bell and let the people of the village know of the carolers approaching. One more person had a big sack into which the group collected all that was given to them by people: sweets, cookies, coins, and so on. People placed their small gifts in the sack themselves. The carol singers couldn't touch the gifts with their hands. The carols are usually performed on January the 6th, during the Christmas Eve. And in the morning next day, everybody greets each other and congratulates on Christmas and makes good wishes.
Здравствуйте.
Привет, меня зовут Аня.
Меня зовут Юе.
Очень приятно познакомиться. Сегодня мы с тобой будем делать вот такую звезду, и ты узнаешь, что означает для нас этот символ.
Я знаю, но немного.
Вот такая вот прелесть у нас получилась. Ты большой молодец.
Спасибо. 我喜欢制作圣诞之星，这让我感觉很惬意。喜欢手工的朋友可以享受做手工纸艺的乐趣。在中国，我们也有许多用纸做的装饰品，例如折纸和剪纸。在这里，我感受到了文化碰撞产生的火花。这次体验对我来说非常有趣，谢谢您。